I already thought about who we should all be. I thought who we should all be. If you guys are interested in that, I'll be glad to clue you in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Story on the Spot. I'm Jim Heskett. Over there is Kevin Tumlinson. Down there is Mr. Thacker and his ceiling fan. Then working our way around is the Face Man. And we'll be right back after our introduction. And that is it. Hello, welcome to Story on the Spot. How's everybody doing? Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
You got a new book coming out, right?
I do have a new book coming out. Thank you.
What is it? You gotta tell us what it is. Or is it a secret?
Oh, you want me to elaborate? No, yeah. I have a new book coming out called Shaken, which is part of a brand new series called Quake Runner Alex Kane. And that it's coming out on September 11th. So you can actually pre-order it now. Between now and September 11th at books2read.com/QR Shaken.
And also, if you will go to storyonthespot.live, you can get to Kevin's website from there, where I'm sure you can find also that same information.
You can find out more.
Christy, you keep missing these. I don't know if you're here right now, but hopefully you are. We'd love to see you show up live. And Desiree wants to say that Kevin is not in the RV. As far as you know, can you prove that he's not in the RV? All right, everybody. Hey, Nick, I think you're talking, but you're muted.
I said he's in the van, but they decided that a drum set was an important addition to the van.
I mean, you got a certain amount of space. You got to fill it up with something.
Got to fill it with something. That's right.
It can't all be food.
We need some hi-hats in this piece.
All right, everyone. So what are we going to do today? We are going to read some news items, and I'm going to throw it to these guys to pitch. And Lisa says, hi, boys. Hello, Lisa. Thanks for showing up.
Lisa.
Lisa, we were just talking before the show about who you are our most tenured listener, as far as we know. As far as we know, you've been to pretty much every one, so we appreciate that. Let me share my screen here. First up, last week's winner, Mr. R.A. McGee. Yay, R.A.
Wow.
I demand a recount.
And the
only
bonus
because of mail-in ballots.
Yeah, it's got to be. Somebody get on that.
All the hanging chads.
Yeah. All right. So our bonus word for today is buckaroo, cowboy or cowboy-like, or, you can use that phrase however you want. But if you drop the bonus word, you get this, and that should be its own reward. Just seeing cherry and the secret word. But maybe you'll get an extra point for it too. All right. So let's dive into our first story. This one is called Calling Norman Bates. After Donna Smith failed her driver's license test 3 times in the Novo Mutum Parana district of Brazil, her son Hector, 43, decided to take matters into his own hands. He donned a stuffed bra, skirt, and makeup and showed up at the State Department of Traffic claiming to be his mother, ready to take the test again. Alina Mendoca, the examiner, became suspicious and summoned the military police. I thought she was drunk at first, Mendoca said. Then I realized that the student was actually a man. I decided to proceed normally and wait for officers. Smith was arrested for fraudulent misrepresentation and released. He may face a fine. So what we've got here... Who wants to be the first to go to pitch us a story about the guy trying to take the driver's license test for his mother?
Okay, I'll jump in there. All right. Someone's got to go first, man.
Thanks,
so
all right.
This is a hell of a prompt too. So someone's got to just bite this soup sandwich. All right. So here we go. I think that we have. If I say classic case, but I don't use my hands, that's not infringement, right, Nick? Like I can do that. Oh man, I can't hear you, brother. Sorry,
I'm making your neck.
Sorry. In any event, okay, we have a atypical case of I think that Alina knew that the guy was, you know, obviously not his mother. I mean, I think that, you know, he probably didn't do a good job trying to pull it off, you know, makeup on his teeth and stuff. Like everything's kind of bad. And I think the reason is because, you know, his mother tragically passed away in between attempts, and he wanted to honor her last wish, which was to get her driver's license finally. And so he dressed up like that to get her driver's license, not only to give her the license, you know, in her casket at her funeral, but also to keep collecting the Brazilian Social Security checks, you know, because if she goes away, he doesn't get the money. And so he knew that, like, listen, there's no good way for me to handle this. I feel really bad, but, you know, being upset about my mom's not going to make my bills get paid. So I got to do what I got to do. And so that's what I think happened. And if you trace that all the way back, he's been quietly pocketing her Social Security checks for the last couple of months. And this was his last resort. He had to go and take the test so he could keep the gravy train rolling.
All right. Can we put the story back up here for a second? Nick, can we hear you? Are you able to speak?
Can you hear me?
Are you in
I can
trouble?
hear you.
We can
Hear me
all
now?
hear you, Nick. Yes.
I think my microphone USB thing is getting bad because it keeps disconnecting.
Lame.
I blame Kevin.
Yeah.
The old my USB microphone is getting bad trick.
Gotten me out of a bind before.
It's like you can't lose this game if you never actually say anything. That's the key.
Interesting strategy.
That's right.
Nick, Kevin, do you want to pitch us a story?
Yeah, Kevin does.
Sure.
Believe it or not, it's Kevin Tumlinson.
So, what we have here is a vintage case
There we go.
of a buckaroo gone bonsai.
Nice.
Okay, so I think our guy is. I got nothing here. Let me pull. I'm literally pulling this out of my butt as I talk.
You want me to go? I can go.
No, I'm gonna come up
Okay.
with something. Okay, so Hector, who is 43. Okay, wow. I thought this was skewing much younger. Okay, so the mother has passed away, and Hector is the cause. Hector has murdered his mother. So, and this is a sort of flea-brained attempt to create a diversion to make people think she's still alive, because how could she be dead if she's taking her driver's test? But as it turns out, that Hector has accidentally done something very strange in putting on his mother's clothing. He puts on a pendant, and the pendant actually summons his mother's spirit, and she inhabits his body. And her last wish was to get this driver's license. So she goes to take the test. So even though Hector ends up being busted for this and going to prison, his mother's spirit can lay in rest because she got her driver's license.
Nice. So it's a family saga ghost story.
Yes. Believe
Excellent.
it or not.
Proof of that story, the key to story on the spot is you just start talking and eventually work your way around it, which is pretty much what we all do with our books
Most
anyway.
of my novels go this way anyway.
Yeah, indeed. Just Michael Scott that thing up, man. You know?
Threat level midnight. All right, Nick, it's just you. Have you had plenty of time to come up with a killer story yet?
I mean, Kevin stole mine, so. That's exactly what I was going to say, just verbatim.
That's it. That's his whole pitch. Kevin stole mine.
Apparently, our butts are very similar. So, yeah. So I think what we've got here is a classic case of a logger in Brazil. A Brazilian. He works for a Brazilian logging company who's trying to get into this cartel business. And so the way he does it is, he says, I need, kind of another identity. I need a false identity. But I don't want to be suspicious, so I'm actually going to make it a real person. I'm going to make it my mother, and so I'm going to basically do that so I can effectively be in two places at once. So he goes to the DMV and dresses up and all that as his mom, trying to get, because he knows she's old and she can't get her driver's license. So he doesn't mention anything to her. He just goes, dresses up, and gets the driver's license. What he's actually doing, if you notice in the story, it even says that he stuffed his bra. Well, he stuffed it with some of the drugs that he's planning on running. And so, while everyone's kind of got him aside and everything, the military police are waiting. They've got him kind of detained and all that. He now has access to the back of this transportation building, which allows access to all the highways and stuff after the checkpoint. So he's basically already gotten in, and this is exactly what he wants to do. He's claiming, he just tells him, look, I just want my mom to be able to get groceries and all that. So, please let me go. By that time, the bra will not be stuffed anymore because all the drugs will be into the system.
All right, so I definitely think
he's a pretty smart buckaroo, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give you that one. I definitely think, though, bra full of drugs is a possible episode title. So if you're watching now, let's put in those votes. Who do you think won the round? Vote for your favorite, and I will move on to it's a bonus round. What do we got? All right, James Bond and John Rambo played croquet in the park one afternoon. Who wins and why?
James Bond and who? Oh,
John Rambo.
Okay, I think James Bond has to win.
Tell us why, Nick.
Well, because croquet is kind of a
easy
James Bond sort of thing.
It's a
easy kind of a James Bond sort of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Easy.
He means it's British.
It's a sport made for people with bad teeth. Let's just leave it there. Just leave it there.
Ouch.
Well, I think that Rambo would win because Rambo is the greatest American hero and has bigger guns. And so he's just going to shoot the ball no matter where it lands. And you can't lose if there's no ball. So by default, Rambo's the winner.
Just going,
Exactly.
Lisa,
American hero.
Lisa Badger does not like that.
I didn't diss Bond. I dissed the country and nation and all of the people
all
that
of
live there that he comes from.
I think
except for Bond.
Bond clearly wins this one because he's the only one of the two of them that would know how this game was played. So Rambo would just sort of fumble with the clubs and then eventually beat Bond to death with them.
And as such is the winner.
Because he doesn't get this ridiculous English sport. It just doesn't make any sense.
I mean, when it comes to croquet, we're sort of all losers here.
It's like golf, but it's not. It's just not quite manly enough to be golf. You know what I'm saying?
I have no idea how croquet is played. I was just watching the movie Heathers the other day, and it made me think of that. They played croquet in that movie.
I mean, I bet Boris Johnson plays croquet.
Oh, Lynn doesn't know a clear winner. Well, Lynn, you need to get on that. Go back and rewatch it so we can get your honest feedback. Uh-oh. Lisa's got some words for you, Nick. Careful, Nick. I have a long reach.
I think she misspelled Kevin, but that's okay.
All right. Here's our next story. Not so funny, Easter Bunny. Anton McDowell of Almonte Springs, Florida, became famous last year for dressing up as the Easter Bunny in Orlando, but he found his costume unhelpful after ramming his motorcycle into a carport, which collapsed on a car parked there. The motorcycle then hit a fence and flipped over, and a neighbor observed the Easter Bunny limping from the scene. When officers caught up to him lying in the backseat of a car, he denied involvement in the crash. "I wasn't in the crash. I'm the Orlando Easter Bunny. Google it," he claimed. Police asked him to remove the costume before arresting him and transporting him to the hospital for rib and leg injuries sustained in the crash.
He should have just hopped away from the scene and no one would have known any different. He limped. He limped, and that was his mistake.
Or like, did you see that giant bunny? That was crazy. All right, let's keep going. So, who's got a pitch about the Easter Bunny crashing his motorcycle?
All right, I'll go. Look, I'll go again. I'll let these guys steal my ideal again. That's what I'm going to do because it's so good. It's magnificent. Okay. So what I think that we're dealing with is we're dealing with a haunted relic. Okay. What a lot of people don't know is the movie Donnie Darko, okay, was actually plagued by a lot of on-set like disasters and things like that. And so the bunny costume from that movie is actually haunted by several spirits of stuntmen who were accidentally killed during the shoot. Well, our guy in Altamonte Springs, Anton, picked it up at a garage sale because people have been trying to get rid of it for years and no one can get rid of it. He picked it up at a yard sale, and while he dressed up for the kids in Orlando, he kind of felt a pull to keep wearing it and to keep wearing it. It's got a very like One Ring vibe, you know what I mean? And so, he goes from having a good time playing with the kids, come here, buckaroo, let's have, a little hop off or whatever. And now, he's getting to the point where he can't even take it off. When he takes the hat off, not the hat, the mask. When he takes the mask off, it just calls to him and it calls to him and it calls to him. And so that's why he's arrested. He's sleep deprived. He's trying to get away from his demons, and he's crashing cars, and he can't do anything about it. The poor guy is stressed almost to death and dealing with a haunted situation. So that's what I think is going on here.
The haunted. I mean, I think if I saw somebody walking around in that Donnie Darko bunny mask, I probably wouldn't assume anything less than the rapture was happening.
Yeah. How'd you like to let your kid sit on his lap during Easter?
Yikes. All right, Kevin and Nick, it's time for one of you to step up and grab this story by the button.
Well, I think what we've got here is a classic case of a serial killer who's figured out a really creative and unique way of killing his victims. So he does that by kidnapping them, and he's got this gigantic bunny suit. I mean, this thing is easily big enough to hold 2 people in it, hint. And he kidnaps his victim, drugs him, throws him in the back of the suit behind him, and basically just walks around with this extra person there, drugged. Maybe he tapes the arms up over him, so it just kind of holds him upright.
And the title is Weekend at Bunny's.
Exactly. That's where I'm going with it, right? So then he gets on his motorcycle, and the front of this thing is, it's like leather. It's got padding and stuff inside, so it keeps him safe, but the back doesn't. So then he just goes and gets in a car wreck on purpose, which kills the guy behind him in a really sinister way. And what he does then is he just waits for the cops to catch him and say, hey, we need to arrest you. You need to take his suit off. So he takes the suit off and he just leaves it on the ground with the body inside and gets arrested and does his own thing. And, while he's gone, it's not a crime scene. So there's no reason for them to just kind of hang out. They just sort of ignore it and they leave the bunny to the side. And when he gets released a little bit later on, he comes back and he takes the body out and disposes of it. Starts all over again. There may be some mental health issues as well with this guy, but that's a classic story.
I mean, he's lasting damage a little bit. I gotta say, Kevin, Weekend at Bunny's.
Weekend at Bunny's.
That's beautiful.
Okay, what we have here is a vintage demon story. This costume is actually a demon that possesses the person wearing it, and it was found in a local like secondhand shop, and the guy thought it would be kind of a kick to put it on and ride around town, but unbeknownst to him, once he did that, he activated the evil spirit of the thing, and now it wears him. So it grafts itself onto him in the evening and makes him go out and kill by moonlight, and it absorbs the souls of all those it kills. And so we've got a sort of picture of Dorian Gray thing going on with the guy who wears it. Like the longer he wears it, the more emaciated and skeletal he becomes, until finally the thing has just absorbed all of his life essence and spits him out like a bunch of old chicken bones, and then waits for the next person to try on the costume. So
Nice. In Soviet Russia, bunny costume wears
Bunny,
you.
we're gonna call this story Buckaroo Bunny.
Yeah. All right. They can't all be golden. Here's our next story. This is called Not Very Green. The city of Roubaix, France, proudly announced that it installed 187 solar panels to generate electricity for the city's library and paid a local company about $113,000 for the green equipment. But during the installation of a wind turbine to supplement the clean energy months later, workers noticed the solar panels had never been connected to the library's electrical network. Oddity Central reported the panels were intended to supply about a quarter of the library's needed power, but we realized that was not the case, admitted the city's deputy mayor, who did not elaborate on why it took 6 months to figure out the oversight. So, somebody ready to go?
Yeah, this is classic. I mean, we all know, right? This is a classic embezzlement case. This is money laundering. So you've got a mayor here who's decided, he's going to pay a local company to do this green equipment. And the truth is, he's got a lot of money he's sitting on that he needs clean. And so he pays this local company, and turns out it's a few shell companies removed, but he owns this company as well. And he hires a couple of friends of his to pretend like they're solar panel installation experts. When they just go up there and they just staple some tinfoil to the roof and call it a solar panel. And he does this over and over again, never connects it to anything. And he's basically able to clean about $100,000 doing that. And so he just keeps repeating it. When there's not enough power, they decide to build a wind turbine the same way. And so they put that up, and it's really just a big cardboard cutout that looks like a wind turbine. And so he essentially just launders money through all these schemes of his. And eventually is able to launder all the money he needs through his fake solar panel company. And then in order to play both sides, he's still the mayor. And so he's, mad at the company and publicly defaces them and says, this is not right. We need to fix it. And so then he hires the same company to go back, and it just goes on and on and on.
I can't stop thinking about the cardboard cutout window like it's a backdrop for a stage play.
That's exactly right. Now you get the idea, man. He's like the 1x2 for framing. He doesn't even go for 2x4s. It's just rickety little. It doesn't even spin. That's the thing. Nobody notices it's not even spinning.
So for the last story, Sue said all good, but Nick by a hair. And I just want to say, hey, Sue, leave the comedy to us. Just kidding.
Wow, Sue, kidding. Stop punishing us.
Only we are allowed to be bad at comedy.
All right. Who would like to go next?
I'll go.
Green story.
Yeah,
right,
I got one. All right. So what I think we have here is a classic case of money laundering. Okay. I think that the mayor of the town paid some of his buddies to come in and hook up some solar panels. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun. I love this story.
And then, right, everybody noticed that it wasn't working. So there was a big outcry. The mayor defaced all these people on social media and Facebook. The mayor managed to get about $100,000 laundered. And then once everyone caught up to it, he just paid the company to come out and do it again and again and again. They even put up a cardboard cutout of a wind turbine. Right. And it was just, that's what it is. It's a money laundering case.
Wait a minute. That's kind of like mine.
I think in the title, Deja Buckaroo.
It's not even Kevin's turn, though. So we get credit for the buckaroo, not him.
You can have the buckaroo.
Oh, that was a completely original story I just came up with off the top of my head.
I love it. I think it's great.
Brilliant.
Imitation is the best form of flattery, or something like that.
Yeah, it's okay. I could probably do better.
Look, I'm a first draft guy. Okay, I'm a first draft guy. You want to be a second draft guy? That's fine. No one likes second draft guys.
Real writing is revision.
Thank you.
Is
That's
that
what
what
Neil
we're writing
Gaiman
a book?
said. Yeah, Neil Gaiman said that.
I decided to sit down and I'm not going to write a book. I'm just going to revise other books. See
Ah,
how
That's
far I
probably
can.
easier.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. It feels good to not have to.
Grapes of Wrath.
Kevin, you have a pitch?
Okay. I think I want to pick up where the story kind of leaves off. So after they find out that this thing is fake and it's not actually hooked up to anything, they start investigating closer, and they discover that it was hooked up to something, but someone keeps disconnecting it. And upon further investigation, they discover someone is actually living in the attic of the
The
library.
cardboard wind turbine. Oh.
And I may have to figure out how to work the cardboard wind turbine into the story, but this person doesn't want to be discovered. But the wiring for the solar panels hums and keeps him up at night while he's trying to read his purloined books from the library down below. So he disconnects it and ends up being discovered. But turns out he's lived there for 40 years. Undiscovered in the library. So this is a case of accidentally discovering. I don't know what you would call someone who's done that. Someone who is just hiding out and trying to stay off grid. But that guy is a murderer who once wore a bunny costume, and it's been on the lam ever since.
The solar squatter.
Maybe he's the guy who thought the murderer was going to kill, but he was just in the back of the bunny costume and snuck away when the guy got taken to jail.
He's a guy who woke up in a bunny costume one day.
He just unfolded his
All
arms.
sweaty on his front side.
He's just the back of the bunny. It's like that saying, you know, where they're like, "It's not me, I'm just the hammer." It'd be like, "It's not me, I'm just the back of the bunny."
I'm just
I'm not steering this thing.
So
There's some human centipede tie-in here. I think we can.
You'd have to call that the hare's tail.
The hare's tail.
I wasn't ready for a human centipede reference.
It only took 17 episodes.
Oh, feed her! Feed her!
Classic
No.
movie. Classic movie.
I refuse. I don't want to think of the movie. Stop all of it.
All right,
For
let's
those
move
watching,
on.
I do not recommend going and Googling this movie.
Yeah, please.
Never heard of it.
If you never heard of it, please don't go Google human centipede.
Don't.
Okay, this is our final story of the day. That's not chicken feed. In the western German city of Cleve, a regional court awarded the owner of a chicken mauled by a dog higher restitution because the chicken had TV experience. Siegland, the chicken who died in the attack, had completed 10 hours of acting training and had appeared in at least one German movie for which she received a 3-figure daily fee. The court ordered the dog's owner to pay 615 euros in damages. A non-acting, regular chicken is generally worth about 15 euros. How much is the life of a chicken worth?
Well,
Thus
it's
proving-
impossible to tell. This story is false because nobody knows how much a euro is worth.
But it does prove that celebrities are better than regular people, which is something
That is
we
true.
suspected all along.
It also proves that Germans are better than other people.
That's a slippery slope. All right. Who wants to be...
I'll go.
All right, Kevin.
What we have here is a classic case of money laundering. So the mayor of this town is running a scam. No, let me start over. So, okay.
Yes.
So there's a bunny costume.
This is somebody who is actually training an army of attack chickens, and he tries them out on the dog. The dog, however, is from a rival gang of people who are opposed to the forces of chickendom, and so they take down the chicken leader. So what we actually didn't see play out off camera was an epic battle between chicken and dog that determined the fate of the world. So now we have to do the flashback, and we see the team training the attack chickens, and they're just assassinating people, and they're going for the throat, choking them with eggs, whatever it takes to bring people down. And then this guy comes along with his team of dogs that curtail the end of the world by chicken.
Very nice. You can see the little chicken feather silhouetted against the sunset as it floats through the air. All
Was
right,
that the Incredible Hulk? Incredible Hulk.
That was
theme?
incredible. Thank you.
My man. Dude,
I was like, that's not the Forrest Gump theme song. That's not how
No.
I love it, man. I got you. I'm tracking. I'm tracking. Oh gosh.
All right, Kevin. I'm sorry, Nick. RA, what do you got?
I'll let RA go. That was pretty much my idea verbatim. I'll see if I can come up with something different.
Pull
All right,
that
so-
one out of a chicken butt.
Okay. Clucky assassins. Okay.
Clucky assassins.
So I think that we have just an old rivalry between the two humans, a real like Hatfield and McCoy type of thing going on, and it stems all the way back to the whatever, a long time ago. I'm not going to say how far it goes. It goes back. We can't trace it all.
40 years, at least 40 years. Before he lived in a cardboard.
Yeah,
window.
they came from like rival Hessian families or something. You know what I mean? And it's just been going on for years and years. You got, this guy will steal this guy's car. This guy will kill this guy's donkey or whatever. They're always just, this guy will steal this guy's wind turbine and put a fake cutout up there. There's just all kinds of problems that these guys are having. Well, the dog owner noticed that the chicken owner was getting a little too big for his britches. You know what I mean? He's got this fancy chicken who knows how to act and hit marks and stuff. You know what I mean? Fancy chicken. And he's just decided enough is enough. You think you're better than me because you got your fancy chicken? I'll show you. So the next time that the fancy chicken owner was walking the chicken, as you do with a fancy chicken, you put a little harness on it and you walk it down the street. My man let his dog loose, and the dog took care of the fancy chicken. And what you don't know is the guy, the dog owner, said in open court, any amount of money for this chicken is worth it to hear the tears of my enemy, to hear the gnashing of their teeth and the lamentation of their women, So it's just revenge, plain and simple is what it is. And the $600, 600 pounds, excuse me, was worth it. So
615 pounds.
Yes. Cocky.
Desiree wants to know if the chicken's owner was cocky.
No.
Hey, Desiree, what did I already had to tell Sue. Now I got to tell you too. All right, that's enough.
Leave the funny business to us, funny people. All right.
All right, Nick, bring us home.
Here's what we got, guys. This is a classic. I'm gonna do the Talladega Nights. This is a classic case. There you go. Kevin's missed it. Anyway, this is a classic case of a publicity stunt. So this is all for TV, and actually, it's an act. Oh, this is good. Wait, what was his name? The chicken guy. What's the chicken's name?
The chicken's name is Siegland.
The dog's name is Freud. So you've got a case here of two partners in crime named Siegland and Freud, and they've got an act in basically the German Vegas, which I guess is Cleve, and they do this all the time where their owners train them to do things like attack the chicken, and the chicken goes play dead, and so they basically just go back and forth with this, and they just try to get as much publicity as possible every time, and that's what happened this time. They the chicken played dead. The dog, had a couple blood packets in his mouth and, pretended to kill it and all that. There were feathers everywhere. It was great. It was just great business. And of course, they filmed it the whole time on their phones. Oh my God, what's happening? In the, German version, whatever that sounds like, probably a lot of yelling. And then they upload it to the German YouTube, whatever that would be called. You can probably come up with a funny name for that too, but I'm sure there's a German YouTube that they uploaded it to and everybody gets to watch it. And they that one, that's what it is. Yeah. And then they make money by getting a bunch of clicks in their video. Siegland and Freud.
Siegland and Freud. That's pretty good. That's also a possible episode title. Well, I think that about wraps it up for us. I'm going to, let's see, we got a couple comments here. Kevin was the third round, 40 years in the library. You just got a lot of nice comments here. Oh, Lisa Badger with her long reach. All right, everyone. So I'm going to put this banner up here, and that says storyonthespot.live, and that's the website where you can go watch RA's fingers track it. Now it's over there. It's your FAQ. He's not playing. So if you go to that website, you could see the same thing as this: jimheskett.com, kevintumlinson.com, ramkagi.com, nickethacker.com, and Craig, who's not here. So I don't know. Craig doesn't even deserve to have his. Craig was supposed to show up, but he had, I don't know, reasons why he didn't show up today. So we should. He's getting free publicity, and he didn't even earn it with the blood, sweat, and tears. Anyway, that's all we have to say. Thanks for tuning in today. Bye, everybody. We'll see you sometime next week.
Peace.
Goodbye. Okay, bye.
Adios.
Bye.